Friday, so I've just been.
Not yet.
Get him off.
We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics Headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
All right, it is a beautiful, beautiful night in Texas. I am your host, Ernest Doc E. Silva. I thought it was going to end up being a solo episode. It's a late one, guys, but nope. Coming in late and clutch, Davis Cordova joins the sports scientist and this panel. Davis, how's it going, brother?
Hey, I'm just happy to be here, working on moving, so glad I made it. Currently making my picks right now, so just letting everyone know that I do know the matchups this week. Don't worry.
And we're not worrying anymore because we're going to continue to add talent to the stage. Chris Connor with the Last Call podcast joining as well. Clutch City, how's it going, my guy?
I'm hanging in there. I actually watched AEW Dynamite, and I just feel like it's the longest 2.5 hours of my life. But I'm happy with you guys now. We get to talk football, some picks, and even got to talk about, dare I say it, Devontae Adams trade. What's going on here, Ernest? Will the Cowboys get Devontae?
I heard the Jets and Devontae's a done deal. I'm reading a bunch of stuff on Twitter right now, so we'll have to talk that out right now as the Jets are not on this side of the world, right? They're traveling. They're up in London right now. But let's talk shop a little bit. Tonight's episode, of course, powered by Blue Collar Media Group, our main sponsor. I'm your host, Ernest Doc E. Silva. If you're listening today, welcome back to Podcast City. We hadn't done podcasts in a couple of seasons. We're going back to the audio waves as well as our show being Wednesday nights. Usually a little slower on Wednesdays, but we see 22 of y'all early on. Go ahead and click that like button, share button, comment. Any interaction with our show tonight does wonders. So please slam those shares, slam those comments, and share our show to the world. Brought to you by Blue Collar Media Group. And of course, we're part of the wonderful sports division of Blue Collar Media Group, the Sport Gene Network. What's in your DNA? Hashtag What's in your DNA? Join today. Send a DM. Davis has an open line. Chris Connor has an open line. I have an open line. You can join our sports scientist group. We added some talent last week. Those shows are kicking off this week. We're very excited about that. But of course, if you haven't followed already, at Into the Lab Pod is where you want to follow. Tonight's 2-round segment starts off with ITL Primetime Pick'em. If you're not familiar with our show, let's kind of get you geared up. NFL Primetime Pick'em on ITL is where we talk about spreads and matchups quite a bit. The top 5 games of the week is what we focus on. And then round 2, we go into fire round picks where we just talk about money line and who the head-to-head winner is going to be. There's some juicy matchups this week. I think I have the NFL down. I had a pretty good week. I went 10-6, led the group last week after going 4-12 in week 3. So I think I've redeemed myself a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit more like myself today. Davis, you went 8-8 last week, so batting 500. It's a weird season. Weird season.
I don't know. My records show I went 9-7, but
Oh man, we gotta redo the count. Recount. He wants a recount.
Yeah.
We'll mark Davis 9-7, then we'll readdress it later on. But hold the phone. That's right. My former co-host has come back on stage. Kenny Cotterell, what's up, man?
Hello, I finally found time to hop on ITL and excited to chat some football with you guys. I don't think I had a great week. I honestly don't remember what my picks were, so I assume it wasn't great, though. So excited for this week.
No, Kenny, you didn't do bad. You went 9-7. You were right there towards the top.
I'll take it.
Yeah, all day. Definitely going to be a weird week. We have a Sunday morning game this week. We have 4 teams on bye: Eagles, Titans, Chargers, Lions on bye week this week. So if you have any of those fantasy football players, go make sure those are taken care of. And let's get things started here on ITL. We'll go to round number one, ITL Primetime Pick'em. If you aren't familiar with the show, I just mentioned it just moments ago. Check it out. Let's transition over. All right. ITL's Primetime Pick'em starts off with Thursday night football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons 1.5-point favorites this week at home, hosting this team. We'll start off with you, Chris Connor. How do you feel about Baker Mayfield traveling to Atlanta?
I like it. I mean, look, they've been playing hot. Baker's been on tear, made those comments about Brady, backed it up, and I just don't feel Atlanta. I mean, I thought they were going to be much better than they were. So, yeah, give me Tampa Bay for this game.
Tampa Bay, the first pick here on ITL. And we go to you, Davis.
Well, I was looking at this. I thought it was an interesting matchup. This is classic NFC South, just like we saw last week with Atlanta and the Saints. So I like the Bucs on the road just because Baker still looks pretty good, and the Falcons still do not have consistency on offense. Even though they won last week, Bijan had 2 carries in the second half. Although it worked last week, I don't know if it'll work this week. I got the Bucs.
2 Bucs picks, and Kenny Carter now on the hot seat.
I wouldn't really call it a hot seat. It's an NFC South Thursday night football matchup. I'm going to back the Falcons this week. Look, I think that the Bucs, they have some quality wins on the schedule. They beat Detroit. They looked really good against Philly. I think that says more about how much in disarray Philly is than Tampa Bay being really legitimate. And look, the Falcons are 2-2, but you lost to the Steelers in Kirk's first game coming off the injury, and then you played a tight game with Kansas City. I like the short week. They didn't have to travel anywhere. I know it's not a short trip, but I like them at home here to win, so I'll back them with the -1.5.
All right, Atlanta saves the BCMG guarantee tonight for Kenny, and 2 picks Tampa, 1 pick Atlanta going over to me. You all know I'm a Bijan Robinson fan. I like Bijan at home. I like the way Kirk Cousins plays at home. I don't like Kirk Cousins in the spotlight. I do think there's still an identity getting filled out with Atlanta. What the heck is going on with Kyle Pitts? That guy's never going to fill out to that potential. I'm not sure what's happening there mentally. But I did like what Tampa Bay did last week against Philadelphia. It is not a big trip. Tampa Bay this year against the run has been stout. I like them shutting down Atlanta this week and pulling off the upset on the road, taking Tampa Bay money line. Not even worried about 1.5. Just take Tampa Bay money line for me. Thursday night football. I think it is going to be a good game, though. NFC South kind of slugfest for what it is. And then we move on to our wonderful London game. All right, Sunday morning, wake up early. Make sure those fantasy football lineups are set. Jets, Vikings, 2.5-point favorites across the pond. Davis Cordova, you start us off on the call.
Well, this is the one I was back and forth on just because I watched the Minnesota game last week and they looked really legit. But it's London and wacky stuff happens all the time over in London. So I'm gonna take the Jets. And I really should look up which team got there first because I think 9 times out of 10, the first team over in London is the winner in those games. So, but I'll take the Jets and the points for this game.
All right, Davis says Jets plus 2.5 for this game. Kenny.
I'm also taking the Jets. I think that if Vegas really believed that Minnesota was legitimate, then they'd be over a field goal this week. I think you're going to see a ton of public money on Minnesota because of how they've looked through 4 weeks. And honestly, I don't think Robert Saleh is a head coach caliber in this league, but I think that Aaron kind of gave that team a wake-up call with his comments post-game and just look like that offense was bad against Denver. And you can blame the rain, but it more so has to do with the fact that he was not on the same page with his wide receivers. I think that they're going to figure it out this week. They're going to be locked in, dialed in, and so I'm going to take the Jets to win.
I think talent is everything. I think we're still far away from seeing the Jets at their full potential. Aaron Rodgers getting back into it. Long flight. Vikings landed first, so I'm going to use the trend here and continue to watch that. I like the way the Vikings looked this week. This past week against the Packers. Jordan Love doesn't play defense, but the Vikings look like they controlled the field. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings to win this game, just overpower a Jets team that's also searching for identity, who lost to the Broncos last week. I know weather was terrible, but it's still the Broncos to me. I'm going to take Minnesota as the safe pick here, and I am going to take 2.5. I do believe it's a touchdown game. I don't lean field goal game here. Chris Connor.
Minnesota. I don't think it's close. We keep saying, "Oh, the Jets will be better. They'll be better." It's just they've looked great only against the Patriots. They barely won against Tennessee thanks to another bad pick by Will Levis. They got trounced by San Francisco and they lost to Denver, which that's inexcusable. Meanwhile, you got, I'd say, better coaching over at Minnesota. They have the wide receivers, so even if the Jets take away one guy, let's say they take away Jefferson, they still have Addison, a bunch of other guys they can go to. I think this is going to be a rout. I think basically Flores is going to stymie Rodgers and that offense, and it's going to be an ugly game after the first half.
Yep, I like to take. Again, we're split 2-2 in both primetime games, so no BCMG guarantees. Nothing crazy happening. But as a tiebreaker, Chris Borek did choose. If you do follow Borek's picks, Chris Borek did choose the Vikings to win this game. So as far as a split panel, Borek does go Minnesota in this game. Game of the week is not one that's featured, but I think it was the best game of the 3:00 game. So let's roll. Davis on camera as he was seeing what the game of the week was for the afternoon games. This is a little view of him.
What?
Why,
Listen,
Davis? Why? What's your game of the week in the 3:00 hour?
No. It wasn't even that. It was just caution headphone users. That thing was loud. Shout out Mark, though. That thing was loud, though.
Mark, I thought Davis got upset with my game of the week pick, but that's fine. Arizona at San Francisco. The 49ers, 7-point favorites at home. Arizona getting trounced last week against the Commanders. Commanders look like the real deal. I know we're going to talk about them in a minute, but they look pretty darn good against teams they should be beating. But the Niners coming back into form, I was dead wrong that their injuries would probably halt them a bit. They looked just as good last week as ever. Still some question marks for me on if there's going to be some trades that happen. And what's going on with Christian McCaffrey, right? And what news we're gonna find out next. Does the Christian McCaffrey and just a quick question in the group? Does the Christian McCaffrey injury? Do you see him as out this season? Like, does this seem like a season-long injury, or does this seem like he might be back after their bye week? How do you guys view this? What are you guys hearing?
Probably plays in December. I don't
Yeah,
think they're not worried about making the playoffs. That's the thing.
Right.
So, and for San Francisco, regular season doesn't matter. This is basically your Super Bowl or bust year. So why worry about it when you're still winning games without him? Mason's fine. They have most of their weapons back now. Like, I just think that they're not going to rush it. And I think when worst comes to worst, McCaffrey will try and go at least in December, get a couple games under his belt, and then be ready to go for the postseason. But I wouldn't be worrying about him fantasy football wise.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I guess once they start to lose, you start wondering where Chris McCaffrey is. That's going to become a bigger storyline for the Niners if they lose, right? Not win. But if I like the Niners in this game, I wasn't going to steer away from that. 7 points is quite a bit, but the way Arizona's been playing and the way they're banged up on the offense and on the defense, I'm taking Niners to win and cover in this game. I usually don't like touchdown spreads. If you could buy a half point down, I would go 6.5 easy and cover the touchdown spread. But Niners to win this one and cover 6.5 for me. But I'll take 7 just for ITL purposes. Chris Connor.
give me San Francisco, but I don't like 7. I think it'll be a little bit closer because Arizona will have some pride in this game. I'm not sure if the injuries will catch up. I mean, the Patriots lied down that game. So you couldn't really tell how good, 49ers are and how much of a dog the Patriots are. I do want to push back on Kenny a bit. I'm worried about McCaffrey because when you're going over to Germany, that's usually a sign that it's going to be bad. I mean, hopefully it's not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back until the playoffs start because it's now tendinitis on both knees. This is not a good sign here.
Worse, it's his Achilles.
I think it's both Achilles, yeah.
So in both Achilles and you're in Germany,
one is really bad and one is not as bad.
Right.
I mean, either way, we both don't see him playing until December at the earliest, so I don't think that there's much pushback there. Like, whether he plays week 16, 17, or if they're in the wild card, like, I think we just both assume that he's not playing for the majority of the regular season, if at all.
And safe to say that all 4 of us probably are not worried about the Niners without Christian McCaffrey in the regular season. But come playoff time,
not in that division right now. We thought the Rams were going to give them a push. No Puka, no Cup. They'll probably be out of it. Arizona's defense stinks, and jury's still kind of out on Seattle with how that defense looked against Detroit. So,
yeah, that was a shootout. Crazy fantasy football stories for both those Monday night games. But I'll digress. Davis, who do you got in this game?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Niners, but I think the Cardinals are going to cover. I think this is kind of like a kitchen sink game for the Cardinals at this point. They're going to throw as much stuff as they can on offense. I mean, why is it a struggle to get Marv the ball after the first quarter? Tell me, why? So, give me the Cardinals to cover, but the Niners to win.
All right, our first 3 picks matching, going to the slot machine there to Kenny. All right, Kenny, who are you taking in this game?
So I'm going to take San Fran to win and cover here. I'm saying that they're going to cover right now because I don't think Trey McBride's going to go, and I think he's a very important piece in that offense. He gets a lot of that third down, goal line type stuff for them. So at least as of now, I think San Fran will cover. I think the issue is Arizona might be able to score points, but look, they're getting 40 hung on them, 34 hung on them. Like, that's a bad defense. And look, I think San Fran took their foot off the gas last week. I think they scored 35, and I think that defense is good enough to hold them to 21, 24. They already slipped up their one division game, and now they're back. So I think this is a blowout.
Yeah, I like San Fran a lot, and here all of us agree. So wave those fingers in the wave those fingers in the air, wave them like you just don't care. That's just a BCMG game.
So Chris said
that
he didn't like the points. So what would you want it down to as far as the parlay goes? Like, are you thinking -3.5, -4? Like, where are you comfortable with it, Chris?
Davis as well.
Niners money line.
Just money line?
I mean, we have enough picks that's gonna fill this board. might as well just take the safe way.
I'm just thinking that, like, we can put a minus 350 on there if we want. Like, I mean, it's not like we ever hit the parlay, so
That's
if
true.
you guys
Twice
want
a year.
money line, that's fine.
We lose money. We do lose money weekly on it, though. We definitely feel that Movada sheet.
I've missed the parlay like the last 4 weeks, so I haven't lost money on that personally. I did lose money on the Falcons minus 2.5 though, so that was my bad beat of last weekend.
Darn it. So are we saying money line? Then you guys don't want to flex any points?
It's up to Chris.
Davis gives a shrug. Chris,
You know what?
thoughts?
I'm feeling bold. Let's go with 7, Ben. I'm game for it here.
Oh,
Davis
whoa.
is not the full 7. What about like 2.5, Davis? That gets you the field goal.
Hey, we'll go 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. Okay. San Francisco minus 3.5 goes on the BCMG guarantee. Remember, if that guarantee parlay doesn't hit, go message Steve, the General Reisner. He'll get you your money back guaranteed.
I'm
All right.
coming on Steve right now. I think he's in witness protection and watching.
What's Steve coming on?
Yeah, we need Steve to come on. It's been a hot minute since Steve Reisner has made an appearance, and I think the fan base needs him. Steve, this is a PSA. Mark, clip this. Let's get Steve. Tag him on everything. We want Steve on. Please and thank you. All right, Sunday night football. The entire world is going to be watching this game because America's team plays. No offense, Luke. I know it's in Pittsburgh, but if it's a Cowboys game, the Cowboys clip gets played. Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brandon Cooks not playing and out for a minute with a knee infection. Micah Parsons looking very much doubtful to play. No DeMarcus Lawrence for 4 to 8 weeks. Dallas, they are bleeding in the injury area. Jalen Warren also not playing for the Pittsburgh side, and Justin Fields continues to get the start over Russell Wilson. All right. The only person not a Cowboys fan starting this one, Chris Connor. Who do you have in this game?
It is tough because on one hand, if both Lawrence and Parsons are playing, I would take the Cowboys. But because of those injuries, give me the Steelers. We're marching, Ernest. We're marching towards my goal next year. Bill Belichick, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And I get my dream show, Ernie in the Hoodie, Tuesday nights. You, Bill Belichick. Just remember, when he says on to Philadelphia, that doesn't mean asking 4th and 2 questions. It's on to friggin' Philadelphia.
It may be funny to you, motherfucker, but it's not funny to me, okay?
A little bit of a Beto statement right there. Davis Cordova, what do you have for this game?
I don't know. I know this is going to sound stupid, but it just kind of feels like one of those games the Cowboys steal. With everyone out, Parsons out, probably, Lawrence out, Cooks out. I don't know. I feel like Dak and CD can just figure out a way to win. Stop giving Zeke the ball. Give it to Rico Dowdle and Hunter Lepke. I think the Cowboys are going to win.
Are you taking Dallas money line?
Isn't that Cowboys win? Right?
Okay. Cowboys money line. You see, he doesn't need no points there. Davis Cordova making the statement. Kenny Cotterill.
First of all, I mean, the fact that we had Arizona San Fran means you should find something to do like Sunday afternoon while those games are on, because that's a horrible slate. So I already booked a tea time for Sunday afternoon, so I don't even have to worry about it. I'll be in the clubhouse ready to go for this Cowboys game. Look, I'm going to treat this the same way that I did Dallas week 1. I never bet Dallas, but when I see a plus 120 on the money line and a Pittsburgh offense that still struggles to score, and look, they're not great against the pass. I don't think the run game is really going to be the key for Dallas, because that plays into Pittsburgh's strengths. I think Dak throws for like 300 plus touchdowns. We see Dallas win this game like 24-15. Just I don't think that Pittsburgh has enough. Even without Lawrence and Parsons, I just don't think that offense is good.
I'm not a delusional Dallas fan. I do like to pick them because they're my favorite team. But I will say this, if I want to go completely non-biased, the Dallas Cowboys have a better, more experienced duo than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And similar to Davis's sentiment, I think Dallas pulls out the win this week because it gets really rough for Dallas the next, 6 weeks of football. So you have to get these ones that are a little bit more of a toss-up. So these are must-win games for Dallas, whereas Pittsburgh doesn't nearly have that desperation. And Dallas is going to go in there really airtight after a Thursday night showing that was not very good. And you have more rest. You come off 10 days of rest. The team's going to feel a little bit different, get off to a quick start. And what do the Cowboys do when they have a quick start? They go 22-3 in the last 4 seasons when they score first. That's huge, right? And I think with Dak Prescott having the momentum against a team that is not as talented as the Cowboys are, I'm gonna take Dallas Cowboys to win this game. I am sorry Luke is not in town this week. I would have loved to watch this game with Luke on a Sunday night and enjoy that. Just Luke, shout out to you wherever you're at. And so taking Dallas money line as well. I thought that was going to be a heavy statement on here, but it's just three peas in a pod here. Picking Dallas money line and writing that home. Chris Connor, any last second rebuttal on the Dallas money line takes?
Yeah, I know everybody's high here, and they're going, well, the offense, but Tyler Guyton versus TJ Watt should scare Cowboys fans. It should scare Dak Prescott because you almost look and go, oh crap, this guy's had struggles. Now he's taking on probably the defensive player right now of the year. If you single block Guyton versus Watt, that's going to be disaster. We saw the Giants give him trouble. And the Giants don't have TJ Watt. So that should scare Cowboys fans that, oh crap, Tyler Guyton might get like PTSD from TJ Watt.
It might be. I've gone on your show and talked about that matchup scaring the crap out of me. So I'm with you, right? The offensive line has not been efficient for Dallas to start this year. It's why they've lost a couple of games. They've really not been able to pace the ball and keep the ball in their possession. The run game has been very tough for Dallas. When does Dalvin Cook get called up? Does he have anything left in the tank, or is it Dowdle's team? Dowdle is averaging 3.8 yards a carry. I think you have to start running him and doing what you need to with Dowdle. I mean, I don't know why we shy away from that. So we'll have to see what happens this week. I think that the Monday Night Football is a very intriguing game. So let's just take our talents and talk about that game next. What a game. And I think Primetime is just hitting on some of these games on the matchups they're having for late night Monday Night Football. So New Orleans Saints, been a very high-powered team, very much watched team right now in the NFL, surging in 2024. And then Kansas City, always beloved. We'll see Taylor Swift again this week, back in Kansas City, watching her beloved Travis Kelce, Swifties, #Swifties as we go. -5.5. And if you're just tuning in, or if you're watching the show or listening, this is our final primetime pick'em game, so get those pen and papers out. Davis Cordova, you have the call on this first one. Kansas City, 5.5 point favorites. What you got?
Well, I think the story out of Kansas City is their defense, not Patrick Mahomes. Their defense has looked fantastic. It's what's kept them in games. It's what's won them most of their games this season. And I think the Saints' offense has been a little bit exposed the past 2 weeks against the Eagles and the Falcons. So I think that continues. I think this is a close, low-scoring game, as shocking as it is with these two high-powered offenses. So I got the Chiefs winning, but give me the Saints to cover that 5.5.
There you go, Saints plus 5.5 is the first call here. Kenny Cotterill.
I think the Saints are back down to earth. I think Kansas City takes care of business pretty handily here. I had the Saints as one of the worst teams in the league this year. I think just because you blew out Carolina and an unprepared Dallas team doesn't make you a great team. Now you're going to face a Kansas City team that's going to make life hell for Derek Carr. And look, when you get pressure on Derek Carr, you know how that goes. And so I think I'd bet a defensive touchdown in this game. Like, I think that there's that sort of potential if you're looking for something a little bit spicy on Monday night. But I like Kansas City to win comfortably in this game, so I'll take them to win and cover.
Chris Connor.
Kansas City. I mean, we saw what Vic Fangio did against, and that defense did against the Saints. Eagles trapped Alvin Kamara, didn't let him get to the outside, pressured Derek Carr. That was all she wrote. Now you're going against Steve Spagnuolo, who his defenses are legit. They don't make mistakes. They don't get out of position. They're going to do the same thing. Control Kamara so he doesn't get outside. Pressure the hell out of Carr, and we could start seeing this game get ugly if Carr starts throwing pick sixes.
Cool little blast from the past there with some David Carr action. I wish I had David Carr queued up in a clip, though. That would have been nice. Shout out to the baby blue uniforms coming out. I guess we're going to talk Houston in a second. So Kansas City, let's see. They are 10-3 when Swift is in attendance. They're 5-2 at home when Swift is in attendance. They've covered the spread 7-0. I'm taking Kansas City minus 5.5 just for the luck value of Taylor Swift. But if we have to analyze this game, Kansas City is just a better team overall. Defensively, it's going to throw fits. They're not susceptible to the deep ball. They're actually third best in the NFL against the deep ball compared to the rest of the NFL. So I like them to cover that, keep Carr at bay. That's going to make it tougher for the Saints to pulse the ball. Kamara's a beast. I don't know how you can stop him this year. He looks healthy. That's fantastic for him. Saints may keep this close, but I think Kansas City pulls away in the fourth like they like to do at home. Give me Kansas City minus 5.5 here. And Davis, I've got to ask, is there a spread you like with Kansas City that we can pop into this guarantee?
You know what? I'll just change it. Chiefs 5.5.
There we go. Chiefs 5.5. Get that queued up. Wave those fingers in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. That's right. That is a BCMG guarantee. That's right. That's right.
Listen, if I got peer pressured into the wrong pick, it doesn't count on my record, okay, Ernest?
It does count. It does. It actually counts twice because you did that. That's ridiculous. You should never change your pick. That is our first round. If you're listening, appreciate you. Go get a glass of water. If you didn't know it already, BCMG does have some streamers that are still out there streaming. Not exactly a stream team anymore, but wonderful, wonderful content. Go check out what they do today. Coach Peanut has been on here talking baseball. He's talked some football with us, fantasy football. That is Dennis T, Coach Peanut. You've also had wonderful streamers like Mama Bear 1920, Tuconi No Onion, Smashly Gaming. Go check them out. Now Just Luke has his own streaming channel, and here are some of those wonderful, amazing people who do their streaming talents daily. We're gonna be right back with ITL Fire Round Picks.
Jill going down the hill. Gonna go fetch Jack in his little pill. Jack feeling down and that's pretty bad. Let's go.
Oh! Yo! Clip that! Clip that headshot! Nice.
No!
A pistol. What the? Okay, that didn't count. Woo! Let's go, baby! Clutch it up! Yeah, I like it!
What? No way! Did that precision just kill me?
Let's go!
Nice, Papa!
Papa with the clutch kill at the end. Let's go.
Oh, I missed. That was bad.
Got him.
Nice.
Man, I'm going to go steal their shit.
That is definitely orange. Green.
You're dumb and it's orange.
We're both wrong, red.
I could get that solo if I tried it a couple times, but we'll come back to it.
I'm fucking dick right now. Holy shit. Like, I fucking suck right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
All right, round two, ITL Fire Round Pick'em, where we go around the room. We just really machine gun through these and talk about the money line matchups between all the rest of the games. Don't forget, we only have 14 this week, 4 games on by Eagles, Titans, Chargers, Lions. Take notes of those. Make sure you switch those lineups up before tomorrow's games. Of course, ITL Fire Round Pick'em is brought to you by Bovada. Bovada, use code BCMG today to get 100% matched on your deposit. Code BCMG take advantage of that. All right, we start off our fire round picks around the room. We're going to start off with you, Kenny Cotterell. Buffalo at Houston. Who do you have?
Oh God. We're going with this one right out of the gate. Look, I am not sure. Is Mixon going? I don't think so.
I think he's out again this week.
I'll go Buffalo. I think they got embarrassed on Sunday night. I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. They need this one if they're going to have a shot at potentially challenging Kansas City, I think.
All right, Buffalo's the first pick. Chris Connor.
Buffalo. Houston's defense has been horrible at times against the run. Now you get Josh Allen, that whole offense. You know the Bills want, a bounce back game. They got humiliated against Baltimore. So yeah, give me Buffalo.
Davis Cordova.
Give me the Texans. I love what they're doing. Stephon Diggs revenge game. Okay.
Ooh.
2 tutties for Stephon. At least get anytime touchdown for Stephon Diggs. There's no way he's going without a touchdown in this game. So give me the Texans to continue that, because I think the Bills are in the best seat for divisional right now to win a division. The other 3 teams in their division are stinkers. So I like the Texans.
You think Houston isn't with the 3 teams that are there?
But I think the Bills are a better team.
Yeah.
But, I think the Texans are going to win this game. So
that's fair.
Hey, Davis is in my head.
I was more thinking just because the Jets could at least challenge them, whereas the Jags, Colts, and Titans are so bad. But I get what you mean, especially if you Houston.
Yeah, Davis in my head. I had Allen versus Diggs the whole way in this. This is going to be talked about 20 times. If there's any sort of prop bet for this game on how many times we mentioned Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and their history, probably going to clear 15. So go find that prop and go make that bet. Kenny, if you can find that anywhere, let me know what that is. I'm definitely going to put money on it. I like Houston at home. It's the baby blue jerseys. It's the H-Town jerseys. It's a featured game of the year. They are hyping this up everywhere. The marketing has been on point this week. I mean, this game is like a Super Bowl game for them, and I'm going to say this is probably a win for Houston. I don't think they're the better team on the field right now, and I do think, and I've said this on many shows, and I'm going to say it here again, Joe Mixon does pulse that offense. I do think culture follows Joe Mixon. I've always been a Mixon fan on this show, and you can see how that offense isn't as paced. They've run 15 less plays average this year when Joe Mixon is not on the field. That's huge. They can't keep the ball as long. And CJ Stroud, I like to call him CJ Proud, fantastic quarterback, clutch. You've seen him in different situations. I think he outplays Josh Allen this week. I think this is a statement game for him, and I think Stephon Diggs does find the end zone a couple of times, one on the ground, one through the air, and he's screaming everywhere in a big game for Houston.
This is the best game of the weekend too. Like this, I don't think it's even close. This is definitely the best game.
And real quick, I mean, I don't know if Buffalo has proven anything just yet. I mean, look at the 3 teams they've played: Cardinals, Dolphins, Jags, the 3 teams they've beaten. So, I mean, they have 2 wins combined for those 3 teams through 4 weeks. So, I don't think
sides for sure.
Yeah, but I just don't think the Bills have proven anything yet. So that's why I'm taking the Texans as well.
I picked the Bills to miss the playoffs, so I agree. I don't think they've proven it yet, and they do need a big win. So this will be a fun game, though. Either way, I think it's
nice noon game to get us started. This is like a prime spot coming.
If you're running one TV for whatever reason and you don't have Red Zone on, that's the one.
You're going to go straight from the London game into the Houston Buffalo game. Like, you're welcome. Like, this is a welcome to football moment.
Into a 35-31.
And for those of you who only watch Fox, Carolina plays Chicago next, right at the same time. And for those Bears fans that are riding high with them as they face another team that's not doing quite well. Kenny Cotter will start us off. Who do you have in this game?
I got to take the Bears. I think Andy Dalton was kind of a 1-week thing. I think he'll struggle. Like the Bears, they're going to lean on their defense until he figures out the deep ball, especially. And I just think this is a good spot for him. Like, look, if Caleb's worth anything this year, like go throw 2 or 3 touchdowns and kind of like calm the people down. So I'll take Chicago. I wouldn't take them to cover though. 4 is a gross number.
4 is a gross number. That's going to be one of those that they win by a field goal, and you're really kicking yourself and saying, why did I choose Bears -4?
Because that line's not moving to Carolina. That line, if anything, is moving for
It's
sure.
going to go up. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that. Waiting on any Brooks news. I don't think Jonathan Brooks is playing in this game. I think they'll wait till they're at home for him to play. Also, I love Chicago in this game. I actually will probably put bets in with the 4. If I can grab it at 3.5 or 3, I will. But I'm not going to buy points down. I'm just going to take them at the 4. I like Chicago to make a statement at home again, showing that they won that trade and that they're better than Carolina, and so just keep that momentum going. And we'll keep hearing the hype on Caleb Williams for a season, even though he hasn't played that great. Davis Cordova.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't know if Jonathan Brooks is the issue, not being there. Chuba Hubbard's actually played pretty well. I think he has like 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. But I agree with both of y'all. Bears to win, Panthers to cover. I think the Panthers' offense is actually competent. They can actually score with Andy Dalton back there. So give me the Bears to win.
Yeah, no Thielen, so the should get some more snaps this week. So those who have deep stashes with that team, play him. Deontay Johnson's a fair play. They're going to throw him a lot.
I think Chuba and Deontay Johnson have been 2 of the best fantasy players past 2 weeks. So
yeah, they've definitely been weak trendsetters. Chris Connor, wrap us up on this game.
The Bears. Give me the Bears. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow, we have Chicago money line on our parlay. That is a doozy. That is a doozy for us right there. Let's wave those fingers and wave them like a
on parlay.
That's more like my ITL. Let's keep those coming in. Let's go. Please, let's have some fun with it. Next game is also a doozy. Top 3 finalists for Snoozer of the Week, but did not get chosen. Cleveland at Washington is next. Chris Connor, you have the call on this one. Who do you have winning this game?
Oof. God, for now, I'm going Washington. It does worry me, though, because Jim Schwartz and Myles Garrett are going to get right after Daniels. I worry Daniels will eventually get hurt. He's just too thin, and he runs a little bit too much for my taste. But for now, give me Washington.
Washington gets the first pick on ITL Fire Round picks here on Davis.
Don't take that back, Chris. You just jinxed Jaden Daniels. Please take that back. He's so fun to watch. That's why I'm taking the Commanders. The Commanders have punted 1 time in the past 3 weeks. Okay, they've punted 1 time. So I really like the Commanders. I don't know what Cliff Kingsbury is doing so well against these defenses, but it's just working, especially the past 3 weeks. So give me the Commanders to continue rolling.
All right, Kenny Cotter, it goes to you. Who do you have in this game?
Oh, man. I'm going to take Cleveland to win this game. I think that we're really high on Daniels right now, and I get why based off the last 2 weeks. But we know Arizona and the Bengals are horrendous defensively, and I think that they'll run into some issues here. Could be a turnover or 2 there that flips it for them. So I think this is one of those spots where we think that Washington is legit, and maybe we temper expectations a bit after this week.
It's a fair shot. I don't know if Cleveland's that game, but I do think that happens eventually. I'm taking Washington to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. The line is 3.5. I think that's about right. I think this game is a touchdown difference. I do think Jaden Daniels is a real deal. I think Dan Quinn's gotten lucky there in Washington. Now he has Cliff there running the offense. They are, to me, the real deal in the NFC East. I think it's a 3-horse race if you want to consider the Cowboys. Probably just a 2-team race. At the top between the Eagles and the Commanders. But as a fan, I'm not going to say that yet. And so I do love what Washington's doing. I think the complete team, they've played some pretty crappy teams, so we want to see them against real talent, but Cleveland's no better. Cleveland has a lot of problems, and their quarterback sucks. And we talk about this weekly, right? Cleveland's just really a letdown. So I'm going to say at home, Washington seals that off. I like it a lot, and Kenny saves the parlay. Go ahead, Davis.
I would say the Eagles are out of that NFC East race. I think they're in the worst. I think they're in a worse spot than the Cowboys, personally.
So you think the two horse races? You think the two horse race is Dallas and Washington?
Yeah. I think Washington's like a plus 700. I would take that easily to win the division right now. Go throw $20 on that, man.
I'm not putting stock in any team in this division, to be honest.
Yeah, neither am I. Look, Davis. I know you don't mean to jinx him, and look, they played great. Kingsbury has brought in the spread offense, that almost pistol offense. Man, Andrew Wiley or Brandon Coleman versus Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. Schwartz is going to bring pressure. They're going to force Jaden to hurry up. Look, I hope he stays healthy, but man, I don't trust that offensive line, and I just worry that this could be the game where he's going to get hit. And he's going to get hit hard because Garrett will get after you. If he can figure out where you're weak at in terms of left or right tackle, he will focus on that spot and just make you pay.
I also think that it may not even be Daniels if they were to win this game. I think it'll be on the ground because Cleveland's not great run defense-wise.
Brian Robinson's looked great,
too.
too.
A lot of Robinson, so
But he's hurt.
that's my concern.
But he's hurt. Brian Robinson showed up on the injury report and did not practice today.
Well, who's their backup? He was fine last week. Didn't he?
Eckler's out too. So then you're.
But the guy that they replaced.
Oh yeah,
McNichols.
Yeah,
he had a few TDs last week. So I know he's obviously not Robinson or Eckler, but I think it'll be on the ground.
No, I'm hoping Eckler plays. I have him everywhere. You guys, hope kill him this year.
Was that your late round stash in fantasy? Was Austin Eckler hoping that he?
Yeah, that was. I said that everywhere. I will say this also. I took Dak everywhere, so every time the Cowboys scored a touchdown, I get 10 notifications for every league I took them. But then when my phone's not blowing up during the Cowboys game, I get really sad because all my fantasy teams lose.
There's nothing worse on a Sunday than kickoffs at 1:00 and you don't get an alert in that first hour. That's when you're like, oh man, this is a tough day.
It's the worst, man. It's the worst. You all know what I'm talking about, all 53 of you out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, cue it up. This is it. Get your pillows up. This will be the least watched game of 2024. And I went through the schedule for 12 weeks to go see if there was a worse game out there. And
There's already one worse than this week on the schedule, but I'll let you go.
Maybe we can debate that, but I really think this game's a snooze. This is a 9-6 game for me. This might even tie. I think this might tie and go to overtime. I might take that as my pick this week. But this game is going to be horrific. Chris Connor, I'm going to let you make the call again on this one.
So I am going. Give me the old guy. Give me Joe Flacco to pull it off. The curse of a con strikes again. Indianapolis over Jacksonville. And I'll tell you, this is still not the worst game of the week because you actually still have two legit quarterbacks playing.
Fully Ernest. I didn't even look at the graphic. I was looking at my picks, and I thought we were picking the Dolphins and Patriots. I thought that was the snoozer. How is that not the snoozer?
It's the Patriots at home, and it's the Dolphins Patriots. Something crazy always happens.
You got Steve on your show for too long. I
have. Crazy. I don't like this game at all. I think this game's gonna be terrible.
I think AR's playing. They said he could have gone back in last week, so I don't think Flacco's playing. Sure? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Richardson's playing.
Well, he's questionable with an oblique, but he should be good to go.
Okay, I might change my pick now for snoozer of the week. I thought AR was out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't think AR's out.
Joe Flacco is snoozer of the week, even with him starting after what he did last year. That's
I would watch that.
Super Bowl
Flacco
MVP,
and ITL
Flacco doesn't even get
Flacco.
We have history, Flacco and ITL. That guy has been everywhere. We had a jersey pass around. We've had him be like the guy who kills an ITL league one year. I mean, that guy just is everywhere every year. It's like Tax's death and Joe Flacco with ITL. It's just kind of wild. But okay, Davis, since you're on my screen, who's your pick?
I got the Jags. After all that, I got the Jags.
Anyways, just go with Jaguars.
All that, got the Jags. Jags to cover too. I think it's 3.5 right now. I don't know. The Jags have looked better the past 2 weeks. They've just kind of gotten unlucky in some situations, especially last week in the Texans game. So give me the Jags. I don't think they'll start 0-5, but they can't lose 9 in a row. Okay, they're not that bad.
This is the team trying to go to London, right? Like we just keep losing till we move them. Like that's just what it is. Just keep the winless streak going.
Pulling the A's.
Chris Connor knows what I'm talking about. Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Listen to this injury report. Evan Ingram questionable, Gabe Davis questionable, Tank Bigsby questionable, Travis Etienne questionable. Like, how do you pick this game on Wednesday when everyone's questionable? And look, I got because I think that Doug Peterson has fully lost that locker room, and I think he gets canned after this week because you dropped to 0-5. And look, when you're coming out in the press conference after the game and you're saying, well, look, players got to make plays, that to me says that you are too proud and you think that you're coaching great schemes and everything, but you keep losing football games. So I'll take the Colts because, quite frankly, I want Doug to get fired. I think that it'll help Trevor Lawrence so much more if he does. So let's go Colts.
Hey, Kenny, when you tell the press that you haven't lost the locker room,
you've lost.
Probably means you've lost the locker room.
like you can't stand up there and say, well, if we made some plays, it's like, well, you didn't make plays and you haven't been making plays for a month. So like, there's a bit of a disconnect there. So give me the Colts. Let's just fire Doug, send him to the shadow realm.
We are saved from the BCMG guarantee by Davis. I picked the Colts as well for many of the reasons already stated, but Doug Peterson's comments were only the second craziest thing I heard this week. I also saw the odds of the next Cowboys head coach and Skip Bayless being plus 10,000 just was wild to me that he was even on the screen and he was plus 10,000 and he wasn't the worst odds. Like that is wild. Could you imagine Skip Bayless being head coach of the Cowboys? I would just.
Could you imagine Skip Bayless?
I'd give up. I'm not a fan if that ever happens.
Although I did see the helicopter landing at practice today. I did see that. Good flex, Jerry Jones. Good flex.
Good flex.
Were you saying something, Chris?
Yes. I just want to know, who do you want then as next Cowboys coach? Because I've thrown out some names. You like poo-pooed me. To me, it's Belichick. You need Belichick. I get it. He's as lovable as, juice.
I'll tell you who I want right now. I'll tell you who I want right now. It's Bobby Slovic. That's who I want. Give me the offensive coordinator for the Texans. Bring him up to Dallas. Give him the team. Give him the call. He may be young, and many Texans fans are probably screaming, "Leave him alone." That's who I want.
Here's who I want. Lincoln Riley. Let's just bring back the rumor mill again. Okay, Lincoln Riley. I don't think he'll enjoy USC for too much longer.
Look, we know it's the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to go and get some trendy coach. They're going to bring in somebody that Jerry loves. And look, I would be fine with Mike Vrabel. I don't think it will happen. But look, I'm not even worried about head coaching because I assume that we're going to go to the wild card, then we're going to lose, and then we'll just have this conversation in February when Mike gets fired. So I haven't even thought about head coach.
I just warn you, bro. If it's coaches and people that Jerry likes, do not rule out Dion. I know, Ernest, you're giving me that look, but Jerry loves Dion. And that would be that would be a Jerry Jones move. Like, you know what? I'm going to throw something out there that's just impressive. And then you could do it all. You could have been draft Shador, trade Dak, get a bunch of picks, rebuild the Cowboys, and Jerry could look like a genius.
Here's your dark horse right here, Chris Connor. You want to hear the dark horse candidate, the good old boy that Jerry loves to the end of the world, Mr. Cowboy himself, Jason Witten. He comes back. He just gives him the call. That is the player that comes back and surprises everybody to be a head coach. And you're like, this guy's not qualified.
Move on from this. I'm so done with Dallas talk. Like, let's just next game.
All right.
Something that doesn't make us sleep. Oh, wait. Miami, New England's next.
Run that graphic back, Ernest.
Yeah, you got to change
that.
Yeah,
yes.
I did change it, so let's just... The real snoozer of the week stands up. Davis, give us the call.
think the Patriots lost their center this week, season-ending injury, and they couldn't block regardless, and now they lost their starting center. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Give me former Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley to have another week to learn the offense, and give me the Dolphins to win.
Dolphins first pick, Kenny.
Oh God, what a disgusting game. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think if you want a fun bet for the weekend, Devon Achane, 2 TDs in a game like this. I just don't think New England are great. They've given up 4 rushing TDs so far this year. It's very clear that McDaniel is trying to get that offense going with a lot of like end arounds and a lot of Achane carries. So I'll bet him for 2 TDs, and I'll take Miami to win this game.
Chris Connor.
I'd rather do apple picking or do my taxes, pick insurance, mow the lawn. I'd rather even listen to the best Christmas songs from Ed Too Tall Harris than watch this game between Jacoby Brissett and Snoop Huntley. This is torture porn. This pisses me off. The fact that the NFL is airing this game is just – I have no idea to pick. 2 teams that can't throw the ball now. They need a quarterback to throw. We have to watch this. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Maybe the Patriots because, I don't know, they're not on their 4th quarterback, and maybe they throw Drake May in there, but I literally have no idea. So you know what? Screw it. I'll take the Patriots just because this game really pisses me off. It truly pisses me off.
This is a tie game also. Like if you're looking in your pools, like 13-13, like missed kicks in overtime, it's that kind of grossness.
There's 3 of these this week. We haven't even hit the 3rd one yet.
I know the 3rd one too. Like these are games that this might not be a red zone week. Truly, like it might just be lock in on Bills Texans, take the afternoon off, and then just go watch Dallas and Pittsburgh. And that's my Sunday. I don't think I can sit through that.
This is an apple picking game. You go and pick apples with the missus. You take her out for a winery day.
Hey,
don't
Pumpkin
watch
Patch.
this game.
It's October. Pumpkin Patch. It's October.
Yeah, Pumpkin
Do
Patch.
that. And this is torture porn. Really, if you're watching this game, you have no respect for yourself.
We're running that one back, hey? All right.
That's how much I hate this game. I literally hate this game.
I missed it the first time, so I'm so glad I came back up.
I'm still not sure who you're picking in this game.
He said New England.
He said Patriots.
Oh,
he saved the guarantee.
Who you got?
I'm picking the Patriots just to break up the guarantee, but really, I have no idea. This could be a like 3-0 game after overtime. We're just sitting there going, "Oh my God, what did we watch? We lost years off our life."
You know, we're saying this. You know, we're saying this.
Shootout of the weekend.
Exactly. It's going to be like
38-31 for no apparent reason. There'll be kickoff returns and interception returns, and
like
Drake May's going to come in.
You did escalate, Chris Connor, and I know. I mean, we went straight to torture porn. I'm not sure exactly how that played out there, but this really reminded me of this clip, and I have to play it.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
That's like everybody watching football this week.
Ernest, you're on Miami or New England?
Miami. I got Miami.
Don't watch this game. Seek help if you do. Actually, call the betting number too if you pick a money line in this game. Player props are fine.
Yeah. Baltimore, Cincinnati. Probably another game that's going to be interesting to watch in the beginning, but one team will run away with it in the end. I'm taking Baltimore to win this game. I know division games are tough, and Cincinnati is probably desperate to continue getting back on the right streak and getting on the right side of the win column. But Baltimore is so talented. Taking Baltimore to win this game on the road. I'm not going to say win handedly. They are 2.5-point favorites. I would take that spread if it was me. Davis.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Not like the running away part. I think the Bengals will keep this close, but I actually think the Ravens are the best football team right now in the NFL. I know that's a bold statement to say. They lost to the Patriots, but the last 2 weeks they have looked great. They have looked dominant. Derrick Henry's finally going. They're getting their other running back, Justice Hill, involved. They don't need their tight ends, apparently. So and their defense has really looked good too. So beyond a missed foot out of bounds and a Patriot stumble, I think the Ravens have been the best team in the NFL. And I'm going to take them to win here.
There you go, Baltimore Ravens. 2 picks here on ITL Fire Round Pick. 59 of y'all hit that like, comment, share. Appreciate you guys. Kenny Cotterill.
This is a weird one because the Bengals can't stop the run and the Ravens can't stop the pass. So it might be a shootout here. This could be one of those higher scoring games, and we've had quite a few of those between these two teams. Man, I want to take Cincinnati so bad, but I got to take the Ravens here. Like, I know that Cincy needs it more because if you fall to 1-4, then you're in probably missing playoffs territory. But I just think Baltimore. I'm kind of with Davis. I don't know if they're the best team, but they're definitely the second best team in the AFC, and so I think they win this game and cover.
As we round to Chris Connor, we know that guarantee is huge. Chris Connor, who do you have in this game?
Give me the Bengals.
Look, I'm fine with that.
Only because you visit the Ravens. They looked great against the Cowboys. Then they stumbled their toe against the Raiders, and then now they look great once again against Buffalo. This will be that game where it's like, nope, we can't be consistent. We can't have nice things. We're gonna screw this up. And Cincinnati's desperate, and Joe Burrow now has T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So you're right, Ernest. This will be a shootout. I think it'll just come down to Burrow having the ball and Ed McPherson kicking the game-winning field goal.
I don't hate that too because look, Burrow's actually been pretty good this year. I know that the Bengals are taking a lot of crap, but when you got 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, and almost 1,000 yards through 4 games, like Joe hasn't been the problem. It's the defense. So he doesn't deserve to take a lot of the flack, especially not having Higgins until last week.
If you like yards and you like points, you're going to watch this game just to have some fun. It's going to be a very Madden-esque game. This is going to be a fun divisional game back and forth that Steelers fans are going to watch and cry as they take on the Cowboys at night and have a tough night. But taking Baltimore myself, that saves the parlay for Chris Connor. Thank you, Chris Connor. 2 in a row for you. You're doing wonders for this show. Moving on. We go to Denver, which is the other snoozer of the week that was a finalist.
Can you play it again?
Oh my God!
Play it again. All 3 of these got ties.
The NFL sucks.
This is a bad week for the snoozer alerts. But are we serious? Do we want to play this again?
Yes.
I don't think these teams even warrant a snoozer. That's how bad they are.
Just Connor, who you got?
Denver. At least this game features a young quarterback, so it's not as bad as the Patriots, Dolphins. But yeah, this is an apple picking game also. So yeah, give me Denver.
Davis.
Listen, if your starting quarterback can throw 60 yards in a win against one of the better teams in the AFC, then I think you can win a lot of other games too, especially against bad teams like the Raiders. Devontae Adams and all this stuff going on, I don't think the Raiders are in it, so I got the Broncos.
2 Denver picks. Kenny Cotterill.
All right, for the good of this show, I'm taking Vegas because we're not putting the Denver Broncos on our parlay this week.
Come on, Kenny. Go with your gut.
He's got a 62.5% rating right now. That's what Bo Nix is bringing to the table. And look, I think that Pierce might be one of those coaches as well that might have lost the locker room a bit with this whole Devontae stuff. And I don't think – is Crosby playing this week? I think he's questionable.
I think he's still questionable.
I think if he plays, then he's going to wreak havoc on Nix. So for the sake of the parlay, I'm going to take Vegas, hoping that Crosby plays.
If you didn't have to save the parlay, though,
I don't want to pick either. but I have to make a pick, so I'd prefer to just leave it blank. I'll just take the no win and no loss on my record, but I'll take Vegas.
Okay. This is in Denver.
Yeah.
This
is another tie game, hey?
This is a tie game. Yeah, I wish
ties in the same week.
I actually was trying to see if there was a special prop bet for 3 ties in a week to see if they would give odds on that, and I can't find it anywhere. But I hope
for $1 million.
Plus $1 million.
Yeah.
Plus $1 million.
I'd put a $5 on there. That might happen. That might happen this week. This might be the one time in our lifetime it happens.
Real quick, Max Crosby did not practice today.
Okay, I read questionable, so I'm hoping that he goes. We'll see.
Yeah, my pick is Vegas. Sorry, Kenny, you could change yours if you want to. But I'm taking Vegas. I like what the offense can do. I think Devontae is an addition by subtraction. He didn't want to be there, and I think it was done at that point. I like Madison and their offensive scheme, and I think the team might rise to Pierce's defensive calls. People will ride high on Denver this weekend because of their win over New York, and I think it's a bold pick to say Vegas upsets that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to just some strange play in the end of the fourth quarter and Vegas steals this win, because the game will not be exciting until the fourth quarter, and it's going to be something like this on the sideline.
What kind of play you got for this situation?
How about the annexation of Puerto Rico?
And then you get some sort of like Zamir White touchdown on a special teams
play. This is
play.
the last time I'm going to think about this game.
Hey, Kenny, I would like a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, this is another one because it could be a Surtain pick 6 and it could be a Crosby forced fumble touchdown. This is another one that you look at.
I want to push back on one thing. I don't think Pierce is lost in the locker room. I mean, he has no options. Either Aiden O'Connell or Gardner, a porn stash Minshew. What is his option? I mean, there's nothing. This is what the Raiders gave him. It's like
too many. That's 3 too many.
Look at him. That's all you need to say about Gardner Minshew. But I'm serious. Like being serious, there is no option for the Raiders. It's either journeyman quarterback or
in this game. By the way, Minshew is the best quarterback in this game.
That's not saying much. But there's no option.
Again, like, if we're talking about a game being close, like Vegas does have the better QB. I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Give me Zach Wilson in this game. Come on.
Oh, gosh, let's move on.
I would watch.
12th man alert. Seattle hosting the Giants. Kenny says Seattle and stop it. Anybody? Let's go, Davis. What do you got?
I mean, I got the Seahawks, but after their defense this week and they have a short week, I don't know. I would put some money on the Giants plus 6.5.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I've hit the past 2 weeks on Giants spread, so I really like the Giants because of Malik Neighbors.
That's money line though, so Seattle.
Yes, no, you're right. Seattle.
And that would be on the parlay, I'm assuming.
Chris Connor.
Seattle. I am not. I refuse to bet on Danny Nichols, aka Danny Penny's Jones. Hell no. No. He's gonna get Dayball fired or have a midlife crisis. That's how bad he is. So no, Seattle.
I am very worried about this game for Seattle. This feels like a trap game. This feels like one of those games where you just lose oversight and it's a little bit
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
With that defense at home, there's always one of these games every week that's just like, what? How's that possible?
Ernest, it's Danny friggin' Nichols. No. God damn you.
But 12th man, no Neighbors. Seattle money line. It's easy. Seattle day. Now, is Neighbors confirmed out this week?
No.
Don't do it, Ernest.
If Neighbors plays, I'm taking the Giants.
No, I'm pretty sure he's favored to play this week.
Yeah, if he plays this week, later on in the week, and we get that confirmed, I'm probably hammering money on Giants.
In the NFL, he's going to wake up and suddenly not have a headache on Sunday.
He's probably already had.
I guess that's right. So I guess wave those fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care. The BCMG guarantee gets their 4th slot, Seattle money line. That's right. Seattle money line hits the ticket there. Big winners, big spenders. Seattle 6.5-point favorites. Are we feeling good about any point spread on that game?
I'm good with 7.
7. That's high. I'm good with 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
3.5. Yeah.
Okay. Seattle
'Cause
3.5.
I'm also seeing Devin Singletary's on the injury report now too. So
Oh, jeez.
I think I might retract my Giants plus 6.5 statement.
There you go, Seattle. We're on the final game of the day. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. This will be live and in your podcast area, wherever you like to listen to podcasts tomorrow morning. Green Bay at Los Angeles is the final game of this week that we are talking about. So Jordan Love back. Jordan Love looking great last week, coming back off of his injury, and the Rams struggling through without Cup. And Kyron's still kind of running the ball hard. So I kind of like what Rams have going on. Just you can tell the lack of Nakua and Cup have hurt. So let's start this off and go around the room. Chris Connor, you're going to get the call on this one. Who do you like in Rams, Packers?
Packers. Rams are just too beat up, and it's a shame because no Nakua, offensive line is in shambles. No Cup. I feel bad for Stafford. He's gonna get hurt in this game.
Davis.
I mean, I wish we could play the snoozer again because I mean,
Stop it.
If you're not a Packers fan, then why are you watching this? I know there's no Rams fans, so
I'm a Jordan Whittington fan.
Stop. Give me Packers.
2 Packers picks, Kenny.
Man. Yeah, I guess the Packers. I'm not even touching that spread, though. Just money line.
Green Bay money line is my pick as well. So as you know it, 5 picks on the BCMG guarantee, and Kenny did his job this week. So did Chris. As Kenny puts in our parlay and gets those odds for you guys who like to see what those odds are during tonight's episode.
You mean I've been doing that the whole time, and it's a plus 1,000?
Dang, look at us go. Plus 1,000 the BCMG parlay. That's pretty good. I'm definitely gonna plug that in. We plug it in every week. We lose every week, but we play the odds here. We put our money where our mouth is there. BCMG parlay plus 1,000. Let's go over those picks. San Francisco minus 3.5, Kansas City minus 5.5, Chicago money line, Green Bay money line, and Seattle minus 3.5. A great show. 61 of y'all listening, tuning in tonight. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all joining in tonight. Of course, your sports scientists are available all week. You'll see us commenting and posting, rehashing things out. But to end tonight's episode, Chris Connor, tell people where they can find you.
You can check me out at thelastcallpodcast.com. Also on YouTube, Last Call Podcast. I'm on X, Instagram, and LinkedIn, all Last Call Chris C. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Ernest, thank you for this. You can check out me and Ernest talking Cowboys and Texans on the Last Call Podcast.
That's right. We definitely dissect a lot more and go in depth with the Cowboys Texans analysis. Love doing that regularly. So appreciate you, Chris Connor. Again, Last Call Podcast with Chris Connor. Davis Cordova on here doing great things. Talk to the people.
What's up? Y'all can find me on Twitter, or I guess X now, at Davis Cordova 11. And the only thing I have for you is that I updated my Giants Seahawks pick to minus 6.5 Seahawks. So calm down. Giants are not keeping this close anymore. So that's final.
Davis, one quick question before I go to Kenny. Bama, the true best team in college football?
Right now? Yes. I mean, I picked moneyline Bama last week. That was my lock of the week. No way they were losing at home. But I think that's one of 3 matchups we'll see Georgia against Bama.
Sweet. Thank you, Davis Cordova. We'll catch him on some of the college football analysis in ITL 2 this week. Kenny Cotterell, welcome back. You got on. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me at HedgePod on all social platforms. Dropped an episode tonight, did an NHL season preview, talked about some of the good and the bad of the NFL as well, gave some Thursday night football bets. Have all of my bets over in our Discord, the Playbook HQ, so be sure to check out that. And then also today announced I'm going to have my first paid writing gig for Pro Golf Now. Just dropped an article there today of all my golf picks for the week because we got a tournament coming up tomorrow morning. But yeah, happy to be on ITL. be on when I can, but appreciate you, Ernest, as always.
Hey, Kenny, congratulations on the writing gig, man. That's awesome. It's awesome.
Congratulations.
Super huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that tonight was going to be slow. A lot of Houston and San Antonio Astros fans are going to avoid social media like the plague today. Sorry to you Astros fans. It got swept in the wild card round. I know that was tough. 130 games are ridiculous. You shouldn't have 130
Hey,
games. In the
Ernest,
play.
successful hate watch for me today.
Yeah, what a hater. All right, I'm your host, Ernest Doc E. So if you're tuning in, we appreciate the hell out of you. You guys go get some rest. It's late, and we will have this podcast launched in the morning. Thank you guys so much for your support and your love. Hope you guys have a great fantasy football week. Hope your teams win. Go Cowboys. Peace out, guys.